My Hero Academia's anime is coming to an end pretty soon, and I am incredibly sad about that. We only get one more season of this great anime. My Hero Academia was the show that got me back into anime, and it's very exciting but bittersweet that it's coming to an end. I know it's had its ups and downs, but overall, it's a great story. But it's like how the old saying goes, everything good must milk dry until there's nothing left. Never stop consuming. Capitalism all the way. Let's go. Now, you might be saying, oh, didn't the creator state that he's done with the series? You think he has a say in the matter? Shonen Jump is literally digging up Toriyama's body as we speak.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am!
I believe it's a pretty safe bet that we will get a sequel to My Hero Academia in some point in time. So today we're going to go over what that sequel may look like, and please don't forget to subscribe. To start off, the easy answer is My Hero Academia Vigilante, which, if you don't already know, is a spin-off series that may or may not already be getting a anime adaptation. Don't get me wrong, a anime adaptation of My Vigilante would be awesome, but not exactly as exciting as an actual sequel series. Side note, Vigilante is written by Hiroyuki, not Horikoshi, so theoretically either or could really write a sequel to My Hero Academia. Or they could bring in an entirely new person. Who that person would be, I don't know, but there's just so much more to this story to explore. Now, one way they could do a sequel series is have it take place in the United States. Despite the United States being so important to the story, we hardly ever see it or get more information. Between All Might spending a few years there, Stars and Stripes, and the fact that it's the birthplace of heroes, it's kind of odd that we never get an arc there. Having a sequel series located in the United States would allow the writer to write a new story that wouldn't devalue Deku and his storyline, because that seems to be a huge problem with sequel series as of lately. Just look at Boruto, for example. As much as I enjoy Boruto as a series, it does somewhat devalue Naruto's story. Naruto was able to go toe to toe with aliens with godlike powers, but Boruto can do that times 2. You thought Kaguya was strong, that is nothing compared to Code and the other villains Boruto goes against. My point is, escalation doesn't always equal better storytelling. Look at current Marvel, for example. Thanos wanted to unalive half of the universe, while Kang, before Jonathan Majors got arrested, wanted to take over the multiverse. Now, one is obviously worse than the other, but at that scale, does it really matter at that point? What would My Hero Academia do at this point? Just make All for One but more strong and evil? Like, that would be boring. Let me just say this again to reiterate. Escalation doesn't always equal better storytelling. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is a great example of that. Not to talk about Marvel too much, but the reason why Sam Raimi's villains are so great isn't because of what they're trying to destroy, it's their connections to the other characters. What makes Shigaraki, Dabi, Overhaul, and All for One such great villains isn't what they're trying to destroy, but what their connection is with the other characters. If you made a My Hero Academia sequel series in the United States, you wouldn't have to make them stronger than All for One. You could just focus on their connections to the new characters. And I say new characters because I believe most of the cast shouldn't come back because their story is over and done. And by setting it in America, it gives you a good excuse why they're not there, because they're all the way in Japan, which is way more natural than what Kishimoto had to do with Boruto, where he had to nerf and get rid of Naruto and Sasuke. Now, another way that they could do a sequel series is by just continuing Deku's story. But before I go over that, check out my friends at Hollow Games. If you like trading cards, you'll like Hollow Games. Check out the link in the description. Now, back to the video. As much as I do believe Deku's story is over, My Hero Academia's ending does leave a slight door open for more character development for Deku. Minor spoilers for the ending of My Hero Academia, but Deku no longer has One for All, which kind of makes sense if there's going to be a sequel series, because you can't have full power Deku running around. Full power Deku would be borderline unstoppable. There would be no villain he could not catch unless you did something completely crazy with the power system like they did in Boruto. Luckily for Deku, Class 1A gets him a power suit that allows him to still be a hero even though he has no quirks. Him still being a hero but not having any quirks could lead to some interesting storylines. For example, now that he has no quirks, he's more like Iron Man or Batman versus when he did have quirks where he was more like Superman or Captain America, which when you think about it, actually kind of fits him better when you consider his intellect and his problem solving skills. Now with that all being said, there are some major problems with continuing Deku's story. One of them being is, who is he going to fight? There are no better villains for him to fight than All For One and Shigaraki, and you can't bring them back because oh my gosh, would that destroy the entire point of the ending of My Hero Academia. One thing you could do is create a character that Deku fails to save because he was not strong enough, and he would have been strong enough if he still had One for All. And that person slowly becomes a villain because they no longer believe that Hero Society is able to protect people anymore. Another major issue with continuing Deku's story is, where are you going to find new characters? There's not a lot of good ways to introduce new characters at this point, due to how many of the top heroes Deku already knows. One way they could do it is open up the hero rankings to an international level where Deku meets heroes from other countries. Now this would escalate the story, but it'd be in a more natural way. I just don't see a way where Deku would get involved in an international incident, considering that although he is still a hero, he's definitely not as powerful now. I believe a better way to introduce new characters to Deku is introduce new students from UA. This would also create a whole new character dynamic for Deku because we've rarely seen him in a mentor role. Heck, this would also give All Might the chance to stay in the story in order to give Deku advice to how to be a good mentor, which would be very interesting because we hardly ever get a mentor character as the main character, especially in a anime. Or maybe I'm just coping and My Hero Academia is actually over and I just can't deal with it right now. If you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See y'all next time, my fellow shinobi.